My name is Scott Sandlin, and I work for Deer Valley Resort. I manage about 110 different properties for the resort based in Snow Park and the Silver Lake areas. I think the first thing that I really recall about the interaction is coming to this beautiful facility and going, okay, this is not the standard doctor's office that I've been accustomed to throughout my life. I was pretty taken back with the architecture and just the overall space. It didn't seem hospital-like, and it was very welcoming and warm. I was greeted by kind of like a desk agent who, promptly got me the information that I needed and had me starting working on some paperwork so that they can kind of unleash me on the rest of the different staff members there to kind of figure me out. So while going through the process, one of the first portions that I got to do was to meet with kind of the chief practitioner, where they ended up drawing blood samples, urine samples, doing some extensive research of me, and had the opportunity to ask whatever kind of open-ended questions. He took a cursory look, kind of your standard physical, and was excellent about really explaining the details of some of the questions that I had in relation to my overall health, skin, just about everything. Very informative and thorough. So my first real experience was with the doctor kind of taking me through what the steps of the process of the executive physical, the cast members that would play into it, and what kind of roles that they'd be doing and what kind of activities I'd be doing throughout the day. So it's kind of different going to a physical and then saying that you're going to have an itinerary that includes things like lunch and a massage at the end of the day. So and getting to meet with a practitioner, they kind of outlined the day, gave me an itinerary of the events to really expect. And then I was whisked away to the bod pod, so which I thought was interesting to be able to determine BMI and body fat, which I got to put this little cap on my head and ride in this bod pod to be able to figure out what my BMI was versus any kind of water displacement, which I guess they used to use to figure that out in the old days. So we got kind of right into that. After that, I had an opportunity to talk with a nutritionist to talk about my diet and what we would do, what I currently do, and what kind of things we could change to kind of drive a different, I would call it more of a cultural change for me, to try to take on little pieces so that I can eventually build that into my repertoire of what we'll be doing all the time instead of some of these bad habits that I had with eating, to really spell out what kind of foods we'd be looking at, and to talk about the caloric intake and how we can manage that, and really spent time on honing in on food and diet. So the dietitian was excellent to get to spend a moment with. Once I was done there, I got an opportunity to change into fitness-related gear, and I got to go work with a trainer where they put me on a treadmill and kind of analyzed my heart rate and looked at getting me into some sort of physical training program. We formed an assessment of kind of where I was at and built a plan on the kind of training that I'd want to do in the future to help reduce rate and get me in a better spot for kind of some cardiovascular issues that I'm concerned with, that's been throughout kind of my family's DNA. Once completed with the trainer, I got an opportunity to have lunch. They took me to I think the Zen room to sit down for a little while, where I got to relax and kind of come down from that training session, and had the ability to have a quick snack, and then I was moved through to be able to talk with kind of a wellness counselor to talk about what kind of stress levels I have, what I currently do to reduce that stress level, and kind of what some other things that are out on the market. A guy like me, you're not going to really see me in yoga and doing that, but we talked about forms of meditation that I can do simply at my work, my office, at home, so that I can get a little bit of a disconnect and reduce stress. Once I was completed with the wellness person and going over a variety of different courses that they offered and what I can do on my own, I had the opportunity to kind of wrap it up and spend some time with the executive physical massage. I'm not a guy that really likes to go out and do that, believe it or not, but I am now after having the opportunity to have my first massage. I think that I'm in it for life now. Overall, my experience with the staff members was exceptional. They all took interest and care in forming a path for me to get weight reduction, to help enhance my blood pressure and make that better, looking at my cholesterol, looking at my overall diet. But every person that I had an opportunity to interact with, they were exceptional, and they really took interest in my overall health and where I'm going to go in the future. And I felt like they were vested in me, and that, I'm not in this by myself. I'm in this with a variety of experienced doctors, nurses, physicians that can help me get better and get to a place that I'm going to be comfortable with.